Hello again everybody, welcome once again to my garden for another lockdown video. I thought this time I'd run you through some gear which I've recently purchased. I say recently purchased, actually it was a gift. I've had a rather significant birthday recently, so I just thought I'd run you through that. I'm actually not even opened it yet. It's a new rod and a new reel. Now the reel I've got is one of these, Shimano. I have no clue how to say that, so I'm not even going to try. It's a lovely small reel, as I say. I haven't had it out of the box yet. Still got all the gumph in there. It's a 1000 size Shimano. As I say, I'm not even going to try and say the name. I will put the details of all this stuff down below. As you can see, it's still in its wrapper. But these things are supposed to be absolutely wonderful, and it's to go with a rod, which I'll show you in a second. So there we are, a beautiful small Shimano reel. As you know, if you've seen any of the previous videos that I've done, I do like my small reels. Never gone quite this small before, but I'm glad I have with this setup. Right, and that is to be matched with this. You can see that. A Drennan Ultralight mini feeder. Now again, I haven't actually had this out of the bag yet. This is a very light feeder rod, which you can use 9 or 10 foot. There's a small piece that fits in like a dolly piece, I think they call it. Very, very lovely, fine quiver tips. It's got 2 top sections. Here, there's one. And there's the other. You've got slightly different weighted quiver tips on. Actually, one's red, one's green. We have 2 top sections. It's so light. Absolutely fantastic. And it should be in here as well. The dolly piece, which is the piece you insert to obviously change the length. So, just having a look now. I see. We take that out of the butt. I think there's a dolly piece there. There you go. So, one dolly piece there to fish 9 foot, and another dolly piece there to fish it at 10 foot. You have to please excuse the noise this morning. There's a lot of tractors rattling about behind my house this morning. But I think while he's rattling about over there in the sheds, I think what I'm going to do is load this up. I'm going to use some Dower Tournament line. I'm going to load it up on here, and then we'll go through the setup I'm going to use on this rig. I'll show you how I set it up, how I tie it up, and show you all the ins and outs of what I'm going to use on this rig. Okay, so that's the spool loaded up there, as you can see, and obviously I've set the rod up as well. Now what I've decided to do on this rig, as it's a much more delicate setup than normal, I've decided to go with a paternoster setup. Now I usually steer clear of paternosters, being as they're obviously, by the definition, is they're a fixed rig. But what I've decided to do is something slightly different after doing a bit of googling, and I've set up a paternoster which is not actually tied onto the line. So the paternoster link itself is just it's about 4 or 5 inches of 10-pound line there, just so it's reasonably stiff. And I've got the quick change part of a quick change swivel on the bottom there. I haven't bothered putting the swivel on it because there's a swivel piece on the top end where the ledger connector is, if you can see that there. Now, usually paternosters are fixed, but obviously with fish safety in mind, I wanted to not fix my paternoster. So what I've done is, well, you've probably seen, I've trapped it between some float stops there. I've got one above it, this is the main line this way, going up towards the rod, and I put two below it just to create a bit more of a kick off for the hook link. This is the hook link here, as you can see, and that and the loop here is just kicking the hook link away from the paternoster. And I've just connected the hook link by a loop-to-loop connection there. Another advantage of doing it this way, firstly obviously fish safety. If there's any issue, then the float stop will come off the line and the fish won't be dragging around a swim feeder or whatever. What I decided to do was obviously put that link on there, that quick link on there. I can easily take this off and put maybe one or two swan shot on here and just use it as a link ledger as well. That's the idea behind that. And the idea here is, what I can do is effectively lengthen or shorten the hook link by moving these float stops up and down. And effectively, obviously I'm changing the length of the hook link without actually changing hook links, because as you know I tie up my own hook links. So that was the thinking behind this. Now the real test obviously will be get it in the river and do a bit of fishing with it, but I did want a lighter setup and a resistance free setup, because I'd like to target do a bit more targeting of roach this season. I've been enjoying catching some nice roach, so that was the real idea behind this. And obviously with a paternoster setup, it's very resistance free, because if I could show you vertically, it might be a bit tricky, but I've got the hook link here and I've got obviously the main line in my left hand here. Now if you tighten up to the paternoster, as you can see there, it sits in that sort of position, and when the fish pulls on the main line here, the link will go slack. As the fish pulls this way, this link will go slack, so all the fish is feeling is the tip. That's the great advantage of a paternoster rig. So that's why I've gone with that. Very resistance free, very sensitive setup. So I hope that's helped and give you an idea of what I'll be doing, something to look forward to for next season. But until then, thanks very much for watching, and stay safe, and I'll see you again in the near future.